Today's video will see me do a few things that I've never done before. I'm going to be taking a swim in some icy cold water, and I'm also going to be trying out for the very first time a continuous glucose monitor. Hi guys, my name's Jamie, welcome back to my channel. Now for the past month, just over a month actually, I've been trying out testing the Glucomen Day CGM, and this is how it went. Now, if you don't know what a CGM is, or a continuous glucose monitor, it's a small device that you wear under your skin that measures your glucose levels continuously throughout the day and night, letting you see trends in your levels and alerts you to highs and lows. It sends this information to a display device using Bluetooth, and in Glucomen's case, it sends it to your smartphone. The Glucomen sensor sits on your body with a little filament which rests beneath your skin, measuring your interstitial fluid. This means there's a small delay in your blood sugar reading, so if you are seeing a dramatic rise or a dramatic fall in your blood sugar, it's always good to do a finger stick test. There's a couple of features which set the Glucomen Day apart from other systems on the market, and one of them is the needle-free insertion. So with other comparable devices, the cannula gets into you by a device which inserts a needle into your skin along with the cannula. The Glucomen Day needle-free insertion means you have a reusable insertion device and no sharps waste when you change your sensor. Plus, the makers of the system say it's completely pain-free. Now, there's another thing that I find myself worrying about, and that's how much waste I generate. Now, I collected a month's worth of diabetes waste, which seems like a lot, but I think this would be on the lower end of the scale because I'm not using test strips, needle tips, and disposable pens. And using the Glucomen Day CGM, you generate a fraction of the waste you would from a comparable system. So when it came to take off my very first sensor, this was the only thing that I had to throw away in the sharps box. So the transmitters are reusable, and also the little mouse type insertion device, which I think is really cool and really easy to use. But to put it through its paces, I first needed to set up the system. Now, when I was given initially two, I ended up using three sensors. When I received them in the post, I was like, I've got to get this right. So my first time putting on a Glucomen Day CGM sensor was a bit nerve-wracking, but I managed it. Watch this. Putting in my first Glucomen sensor was honestly quite a nerve-wracking experience. The initial startup takes a fair few steps.
It's working.
So
Right.
I wanted to make sure that I got them absolutely right.
My transmitters are over there. Hang on. Armed with the quick start guide and my notes, because I've been preparing for this for a while, we're going to put in the Glucomen CGM. So I'm going to go through the whole process right now. So starting from downloading the app, which I think, nope, I haven't done yet. I did start doing it. So downloading the app, so it's just in the App Store, so I'm using an iPhone, and then we have to set up some certain changes to the settings in the iPhone to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the CGM and its ability to talk to the sensor and my phone and all that sort of stuff. So Glucomen. Some of Apple's settings can interfere with the Glucomen Day system. So for my iPhone, I needed to turn off Do Not Disturb, low power mode, and automatic updates. So nice and close to the body. And then 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. So I was a big boy for the camera and I put it in straight away, but I was really surprised because I honestly didn't feel a thing. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so it was in my stomach. Now, I actually worked out that the stomach wasn't the perfect place for me to put the Glucomen Day CGM. I later found out, after speaking to the guys that make it, that you can put it in a few other places. I settled on my arm. You should never really put a sensor in exactly the same place where you put it before, and you've got to keep it away from your injection and pump sites. So the arm was the best place for me because I'm not injecting up there ever, and I can flip-flop from one arm to the other when it comes to change the sensor. But the real reason why I wanted to try out a CGM
is to help me get back into exercise. Now, lockdown has been a tough old one for me, especially this last and hopefully final third lockdown. It's really sort of knocked me off my wagon. So that has had two implications. Basically, I'm not doing any exercise, and I used to do loads. And then that's had a knock-on effect on my blood sugar control. So I thought that having a blood sugar reading every minute in a 24-hour day is going to be a perfect opportunity to do as much exercise as I can. So I'm going to do 3 forms of exercise: an exercise class, a jog, and a swim, and see how the Glucomen Day keeps up. Okay. It's time to exercise. So I'm going to be doing an exercise class. Now, it's a functional fitness class, so that means there'll be a lot of burpees, a lot of jumping, maybe some weights, and yeah, we're gonna see how it does. In these sorts of classes, I find it difficult to know if I'm just out of breath or I'm hypo. So I end up testing my blood sugar quite a lot. So I felt really comfortable just leaving it up to the Glucomen Day. And I knew that if my blood sugar was dropping in a dangerous way, it would tell me. So it looks like, that's my graph for the exercise class. So that's about when I started. See, it went up because I'd eaten recently, and then it came all the way back down. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Let's see now how it works on some different forms of exercise. So I'm just on a bit of a run, and my Glucomen says I'm trending low and I'm going to be hypo in like 15 minutes. So I'm going to slow it down. So it was great that the Glucomen stepped in and told me I was going low, so I stopped running. But I honestly found the run a little bit more difficult than the exercise class, probably because I am massively out of practice. And secondly, I'm a bit more jiggly than I was before the lockdown. So the feeling of the Glucomen Day on my stomach whilst I was running was really sort of unnatural for me. And that's when I decided my next sensor was gonna go on my arm. I'm insane to be doing this. Also, this wetsuit was a lot less tight before lockdown. I think with something like this, we've just got to do it. Get it over and done with. This morning, I'm going cold water swimming at Clevedon Marine Lake. This swimming pool gets filled up every day from the sea. My blood sugar's fine, so I've got no excuse to not go in. Let's do it. And it was cold, all right. It's the sort of cold which takes your breath away when you get in. After a while, my wetsuit did start to make me feel a bit warmer, and it was just my arms and legs and head and stuff which felt like it was gonna fall off. So the sensor needs to stay within 3 meters of your smartphone. So I expected that I'd need to reconnect it to my phone, but what I was interested in is whether the cold had broken it. There we go, it's working. I can't believe it's working. The sun's coming out now. Now, aside from all the exercise, general life with the Glucomen Day was actually quite eye-opening. Now, I realised whilst using this system, and people around me too, friends and family, were like, you seem a little more relaxed about your blood sugar. And when I am, testing, whether that's flashing a sensor or literally testing with a fingerstick test, I do it a lot. I'm a bit sort of over-obsessive, I have to know. And the alerts on the Glucomen Day, it's not like a blaring alarm, it's like a little bring. I would show it to you, but I'd have to put myself into a hypo or a hyper to do that. So you're just gonna have to trust me here, that it's a lovely little bring, and it buzzes your phone and then it says there's a predicted low or a predicted high. Now that was the crucial part for me, because it gives you the information ahead of the game. So with a blood sugar test or a flash glucose sensor, you're sort of reacting. You can't be proactive. And that's what the Glucomen Day did for me. After a couple of weeks with the system, I was completely used to the change in pace, to just being confident that I would be alerted should something be going on with my blood sugar which I needed to address. So that was one of the best things about it. I honestly got a lot calmer and a lot cooler, but my control was generally so much better. Maybe that was to do with the exercise, maybe that was to do with the reduction in stress levels, or maybe it was a combination of the two. But, you know, it was a big step up for me going to a CGM. I didn't expect for it to be so different from the flash glucose monitor. It is entirely different technology. So that took a bit of getting used to. Watch this.
I've just had my first panic about the CGM system. So I had an outage, a sensor outage for like 2.5, maybe 3 hours. So I was convinced that I'd broke it. I was convinced that I'd ruined it, and this whole video would have to be deleted and I'd have to start again. But I was on the phone to the customer services guys, and they just sort of said, well, you know, just like calm down. It's been on 24 hours a day. Sometimes it just needs to reset itself. We didn't really go into too much of the technical, so I could be explaining that wrong. But essentially what happened was, it's after it did sort of come back around, I was able to calibrate it, and now since then it's worked fine. But I guess I just panicked.
So yeah, I just needed to chill out and reset my Bluetooth. It can happen sometimes with Bluetooth devices. You know, if you're in a house full of technology like mine with crisscrossing signals, sometimes that can get in the way. And honestly, the sensors, don't they? They stay on 24 hours a day. So sometimes they themselves need to reset. So you will sometimes get a bit of sensor outages. But that very first one was the only time when it was that long. Otherwise, I get predicted results, and then it backfills the results that it misses if there's a bit of sensor outage. And that was something that I just learned to deal with eventually. The first one freaked me out. I wasn't expecting it. The first one was like, oh my God, what have I done? I've broken it. And remember, at the start of the video, I was so scared of putting the sensor in wrong in the first place. But, you know, after speaking to customer service at Glucomen, we managed to get it sorted really, really quickly. At the end of the day, my first run-in with a constant glucose monitor was a good one. It's great technology, and I would love this to be more freely available for people like me who rely on the NHS to get their sensors, test strips and insulin pumps and all that sort of stuff. But let's talk prices, shall we? Because of course I wouldn't be showing you this incredible system if you weren't able to get your hands on it for yourself. One of the most popular offers which people use to purchase the Glucomen Day system for themselves is the subscribe and save contract, which is £129 per month, which is actually £30 cheaper than the closest competitor device. Also, if you like to buy your sensors in bulk, then you can get a 10-month supply for £579 for the 10 sensor pack. And remember, it's got other things that are going for it too, including that needle-free insertion and the low waste aspect of it, which I think is you know, one of the best things, and it's exactly the way that diabetes tech should be going. So to conclude, I had a fantastic time with the Glucomen Day CGM, and I just want to say a massive thanks to them, to Glucomen, for sending me the system, getting me to use it, and also listening to me when I was freaking out on the phone and helping me get it all sorted and that sort of stuff. But that is it for today's video. Let me know what you thought of it. Have you used a CGM before? Which one do you use? And what do you think from my trial with the Glucomen Day? Let me know in the comments box below, and I'll see you next time on my channel for another video. Bye bye for now.